Hold up.
Wait! Wait. Whoa. Wait.
Where were we?
What's good?
What's going on, man?
How's it going? It's Alex ZBD here. It's been a while, guys. It's been a long time since I've casted. You're checking out Wait, Where Were We? I'm with my boy Tony Loko AKA mynd.eu.
Yes, sir.
How you doing, dude?
Chilling, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. We've been we just got back a little while ago from a crazy ass almost month
Crazy trip.
in Florence.
Yeah, man. That was an experience.
It was wild, dude. It was wild. It was. I was planning on going. I walk into a party. I'm like, yo, dude, I'm so excited. I fucking leave in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks for Italy. And you're like, what? I'm trying to go, bro.
Yeah.
I want to go. And I'm like, yo, come out. I'll get you.
The part about it, I was waiting on that sign, bro. I was waiting on it for somebody to be like, yo, just come somewhere.
Come and do some shit.
Yeah, I was waiting for an excuse, and you gave me my excuse, man.
It was good. You're like, I'm trying to quit my job.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get out of this. I've been trying to do something different.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, I'll get you DJing out there.
Yeah. I remember that, man.
Trip.
I was like looking to quit my job come the new year anyway, so I was like, what'd you say to Italy? I was like, oh, dude, it's meant to be, bro.
It's like a
quit my job, go to Italy. You experience some crazy ass shit.
I didn't expect you to fucking jump on a plane like you did. It was kind of crazy.
Man.
You hit me up. You're like, yo, I booked the one way. I'm coming out.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck?
That's how it is, bro. Spontaneous. You know what I mean? That's how I like to live.
It was dope. It was dope.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, dude, we experienced some shit. We traveled a little bit.
Yeah.
Did some shit.
Right. We did Venice.
Did Venice.
Crazy story about that day.
Oh, God. All right.
I don't know if you want to go into that
We
yet.
can get into that shit. I don't care, man.
But that was pretty crazy.
I'll talk about it. But I want to start just talking about what you do, because we work together.
Right.
You're a DJ.
Yes, sir.
So let's talk about a little bit, like, you know, your DJ life, how you got into DJing.
Yeah, man. I mean, it all started back when I was about 13 years old. My uncle used to DJ, and I would always just watch him DJ. I would just literally stand behind him while he just DJed and DJs for hours. And after about like, I want to say like maybe a couple weeks of just standing there watching him, he'd look back and he was like, you want to go on? So I was like, shit, why not, dude? So I just went on, started fucking around. I was always watching what he did. Like I would watch every little thing he did, counting the beats, so on and so forth. So I went on, and immediately like I caught on to it after just a few minutes of playing. And ever since then, bro, I was just like a natural at it. Like he just continued to teach me a little bit. I would DJ, you know, my family parties, friends parties, you know, here and there, but I only did it for fun, like just as a hobby. And then the rest is history, bro. Then I got into like the industry, got into the club shit.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
You prefer, now we work together at private events.
Right.
You know, we do more weddings, we do bar mitzvahs, sweet 16s, things like that, camps. Right. But what, so you do some like nightlife stuff too, huh?
Yeah, man. That's originally how I got started. I mean, the private stuff came afterwards. When I was about like 19, actually, first time I ever DJed at a lounge or a bar was when I was 16.
Oh.
And it was actually my uncle who was a resident there, so he was always like there every, I forget what the day was, must have been like a Thursday or a Friday. He was there playing music. It was a small bar, a little local bar, you know what I mean? It didn't get packed out. It was like a few people came in, a few locals. I was 16 at the time, so at that point, I mean, I pretty much had it down packed. You know, I could keep up with the big boys, like at the house parties and stuff like that.
To be so young.
Yeah, I was so young, bro. But I was really a natural. Yeah, it was so cool. So I would always play music for my family, and he was like, "Yeah, you want to come in and try it out, DJ for a night?" I was like, "Shit, why not?" So I went to the bar with him. They had to like sneak me into the bar. I had to like crouch, like not be seen because I was like this little kid just walking into a bar.
Right.
And I just watched him play for a little bit, and then after he got like he wanted a break and like go out and have a drink, he's like, "Yeah, just hop on." So like I hopped on, and I was actually DJing at this club, at this bar. You know what I mean?
What were you spinning at the time? Like what were you?
Dude, I don't even remember. I mean, it must have been some hip hop. I know it was like a Latin spot, so I was playing like a little bit of hip hop, probably a little bit of Latin. But I always had like a taste for like 90s hip hop, like old school hip hop. So it wasn't like I wasn't caught up with music. Like I knew good music even at the age of 16.
Well, I feel like at 16, that's when you're really experimenting and really starting to like figure out what your sound is and what your tastes are. You know,
absolutely, man. I grew up around it. You know what I mean? As a kid, like my parents would always play like hip hop or freestyle or classic house.
Yeah. It was all you have like young parents.
Yeah, my parents are young and they're Puerto Rican and they grew up in the New York City area. So it's all
different
freestyle.
Worlds. Different worlds. I grew up with
you know what I mean?
Fucking Doors, the Beatles, Queen. You know, like mostly classic rock, and then I didn't get into hip hop until like I was able to like start getting
listening
my own stuff music, and getting tapes. Like my first hip hop tape was No Way Out, Puff Daddy, No Way Out.
Oh no shit!
I'll never forget. It was like, and it's funny because my best friends to this day, that was individually each of our first hip hop albums that we got. And it's like we weirdly like all connected through the music back then, and now we're all still like, you know, one of my friends works in music, one of my friends makes music, so it's like the music is a key element to like us all being friends. And that album weirdly was like, oh shit, we all had the same taste back then. We all have the same taste now. The same album as our first hip hop album.
Really? No
Super
shit.
weird.
Must have been like an easy album to get your hands on.
No, I think it was just like we knew what we liked at that point. You know, we were getting what we wanted.
Right.
And I remember, like, you know, we had the parental advisory sticker. My mom never wanted to get it with it. Somehow I got my hands on the tape with the parental advisory sticker. The tape got fucked up because my mom wasn't getting me CDs yet. I was getting tapes.
Right.
I'm old school, bro.
Yeah, old school shit. I'm not that old school.
Yeah, man. You young school. But I got, the tape got fucked up in the tape player. And I was like, Ma, I need a new No Way Out tape right now. Like, I need you to go and buy this for me.
Right.
And she buys me one that was edited, like without the sticker.
Oh, it was like the clean version.
It was clean, and I went
it's not
crazy.
the same when it's clean, bro.
No,
you know what I mean?
I went apeshit, dude. Especially when you're just so used to hearing it. I mean, and an album like that, I mean, it's, you know, Jay-Z's on there, Biggie's on there. It's like a lot of cursing, a lot of blanks in the one that I'm listening to. I'm like, I can't listen to this. This isn't.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, Mom, I'm not gonna say any of these words. I promise. I'm not going to say any of this shit. Just get me.
And how old were you at the time?
Parental advisory sticker on it. Probably like 14, something like that. Yeah. 13 maybe.
Damn, bro, that's late.
12, something like that.
Yeah.
Why? Late what? Late how?
Like just to catch up on like hip hop, to really listen to hip hop.
Yeah. No, I mean, maybe it was earlier. It might have been at 11 because I'm thinking it was fourth grade.
Right.
So how old are you in fourth grade? 10?
Possibly.
10.
Yeah, around
so
that age,
it was fourth grade. It was that year.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, it was like Reasonable Doubt.
Yeah.
And it was like, it was just the originals, man. Illmatic, you know, things like that.
Nas.
That like, Nas is my favorite rapper of all time.
Yeah.
All time.
I mean, he's up there for me.
Lyrically,
I would say he's
one.
probably top 3 for me.
What are your top 3?
I would say Tupac, Biggie.
Biggie,
definitely
Nas?
come before Nas.
I feel like Biggie has too small of a catalog, first of all, to compare him to Nas.
I love Biggie, bro. Like, there's not one Biggie track
man,
I don't
got my
like.
Biggie pop.
Like, there's a few
pop.
Nas tracks, like, that I really don't fuck with. But, I mean, old Nas, like, Illmatic, like, that shit is dope as fuck. Then he's like...
What, like, shit. I Know I Can?
Yeah, like...
Okay, but that's a pop joint. Are you going to say Eminem's a whack rapper?
Yeah, but did Biggie ever come out with a pop joint?
Shady? Well, I guess you could consider Hypnotize a pop joint, or More Money, More Problems a pop joint, but that was different. It was a different... Yeah. It was a different sound. It was a different era.
Right.
Nas made I Know I Can in 2003.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like if Biggie was still around...
different. He probably would have sold out.
He probably would have sold out too.
He was definitely would have, and Pac too. Maybe not Pac. I feel like Pac had too many principles.
Yeah,
he was like
Pac was around
principalistic.
Pac was around Suge and a bunch of killers.
And he was like a poet and like a you know, a forward thinking like progressive mind. He was like beyond any of that shit. I think,
of course.
But Biggie would have sold out quick. He would have been doing like Sunkiss commercials and all types. Do you think so? Sunkiss commercials. I don't know. Damn. Who knows?
Nah, it's funny because I used to always like Biggie and I never listened to Pac. So like I would always listen to Biggie and I would always go by Biggie. People would be like Biggie or Pac and I would always say Biggie like every single time. So like I recently started listening to Tupac. I want to say about maybe 4 or 5 years ago.
What?
I know I've heard Tupac joints, and there were like
you
a
were
few
just
of them,
like so pro
but I
Biggie
always
that
thought
you couldn't
Biggie
listen to Pac.
was not that I didn't listen.
It
to
had
Pac.
to be one or the other. You thought?
Yeah, let me rephrase that. I didn't start listening to Pac. I started to like Pac. You know what I mean? Better than I like Biggie.
Because you grew out of what people would say
Right.
about like having to pick a side, East West, Pac,
Exactly.
Big.
Yeah, and then it was.
Well,
just,
yeah, it's totally different music.
yeah, it is.
It's totally different. Like Pac was making like super conscious records about like trying to change the ghetto and do this, while Big is rapping from the ghetto, about the ghetto, you know, guns, bitches, shit like that. It's a different, totally different. Like, I mean, Pac has his joints like that.
Yeah.
You know, I Get Around, shit like that. But it's like different eras. Like Pac changed because Pac put out a lot more music than Big in like the short amount of time that he was around. Pac, he was nonstop.
Right.
And his sound changed and like went through like this album's more dancey. You know, he started out with the like the Humpty Hump back in the day. He was just featured with the Digital Underground doing that shit. Right. So it was like he started out with as a totally different person than he became, and he kind of started growing as an artist, growing as a person, and not that Big is, not to say anything negative about Big, but it's like the music. I mean, what, 3 albums? It's all pretty much the same style.
Right. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And I think that's why I appreciate Pac more as an artist now.
Right.
Being that, you know, I'm an artist myself. So now that I think I know more about artistry, you know, I learned about like putting out music and the time and fucking effort and work that it takes to make all that music. You know what I mean? It's not easy, bro. 100%. Especially with all the music that Tupac made. After I watched that movie, did you see the movie about Tupac? The recent one?
Not anything recent, no.
I forget what it's called. I'm drawing a blank, but he was in the studio, bro, like recording right when he got out of jail. Like signed with Suge, signed with Death Row.
Right.
And started recording like the next fucking day, not even.
Yeah, and he was recorded in the studio like every day.
He recorded the whole album in like one night.
I know, I knew that.
That's insane, bro. That's a lot of work. And it was all off the top of the head.
Jay-Z's done that. Like, people do that. The Beatles did that.
It's a lot of work, bro.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of work. But you know what it is? When you're in the studio and the creative juices are flowing, and you're just like laying it down, move on to the next one, laying it down, move on to the next one. It's like, it's easy to...
You get in the flow.
Yeah, keep that. And
Biggie was the same way. Like Biggie would just go into the studio and just freestyle off the top of the head. He was just that good.
That was he's a different type of artist. Pac was a poet. Pac was a writer. Exactly, you know, so they're different people.
2 different monsters, bro.
Yeah,
2 different monsters.
2 different. It's like and you can't compare them. It's almost stupid that people say Pac or Big, because I think they're 2 totally different. That's like saying, hey man, do you like watching The Simpsons or do you like watching Game of Thrones? Yeah, it's like, what? You gonna make me pick between like
they were both
a cartoon
rappers.
and like the most insane show ever made?
But they were both 90s rappers, and then there was the East Coast, West Coast drama.
Right,
So
I get
like,
it.
Who do you side with? Like, who do you think is better? Like, they were both at their peaks at the same time.
Yeah, of course.
You know what I mean?
They're always going to be compared.
Right.
And it was at a time when East and West were so separated that you couldn't like the one without like hating the other.
Absolutely.
It was like almost had to happen.
And the market wasn't as saturated too, man. Like, nowadays it's all about like new rappers. Like, every week there's a new rapper coming out. There's a new hit.
It's true.
You can't even keep up with all these fucking artists. You know what I mean? So it's crazy. I mean, artists nowadays have so much more access to get a following, to get a hit record, to link up with other producers and stuff like that. So it's much easier now to make good music than it was back in the 90s. You know what I mean?
It's easier to make the music. It's easier to push the music. There's a million more channels.
That's what I'm saying, bro. We have social media. We have SoundCloud. We have, you know, all these platforms for artists to get exposed and discovered, and wasn't like that back then. Like, you had to be really fucking dope.
Yeah, there's like one hip hop station,
right?
One hip hop station, one TV channel playing music videos and things like that. Like, now you want to watch music videos, you can watch them on YouTube, you can watch them on Vimeo, you can watch them on individual websites. There's a bajillion and one ways to get your music, get your media, and share your media. Yeah, and make the music. You can make it on. Anyone could buy a Mac laptop today with GarageBand built in and make a hit record in like overnight, not to say that that's like the best way to produce your music, but I'm saying that anybody could.
Yeah, exactly. It's the truth. And that's what these rappers are doing. That's what these new artists are doing. Not only rappers, just even pop stars. And look at Justin Bieber, how he blew up, like posting videos on YouTube. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, it's crazy. It's insane. So you just have to respect like 90s music just that much more, because it wasn't that easy to fucking make it back in the day, what I mean?
Right. So. Agreed. And then there was also the flip of that, which is like, well, because there was such limited markets and limited labels and limited A&Rs deciding who's hot, who's not. Yeah. not to drop into a No Way Out. Who's hot? Who's not? But to that changes things because it's like, well, maybe they just picked that artist. Like you look at the first, what's that? I said a hit. A Hibbit.
A Sugar Hill Gang?
Yeah, Sugar Hill Gang, right? So, like, they were literally just a bunch of dudes that worked at the pizza shop, right? So, like, they just got picked to, like, make that song because the chick's like, we need a song. Yeah. And let's just grab these guys. They're a bunch of guys that, like, play around and rap. So, it's like, they became super duper famous. Why? Because there was nobody else signing people.
True.
So, it's like... True. That's just it makes it super easy to not saying that artists in the 90s are like less talented than other people, but it was like it was limited in terms of how people were being selected and who was being selected and things like that.
Who was playing the music as well. DJs were a big deal back then.
Still.
Like radio DJs.
Still.
Yeah.
I mean, not as important.
Not as important though that we have all these platforms.
They were breaking records.
Because now you don't need a DJ in order to gain a following.
You don't need the radio to get a following.
Right, you don't need a radio. All you need is the internet.
Yeah. And, but back in the day, man, the radio would break records. Now it's like, what breaks records? Spotify playlists, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Or
absolutely.
like Apple Music playlists and shit like that.
Right.
That's where you get your music. New Music Friday. All right, let's check it. Release Radar.
Yeah.
But like back in the day, it was like Funk Flex would play you the new J record.
And you'd have to beg Funk Flex to play your record.
No, but like,
peak hour. You know what I mean?
Like, I mean, like, even as far as like big hits, things like that, when they came out for the first time, they came out on the radio.
Yeah.
And I remember there was like multiple songs that when they came out, we would sit by the radio and I had a tape in the tape player and we would hit record, like super ugly. When Nas and Jay were going back and forth, like we were taping because they were like dropping it through Hot 97 and sending it like in, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that anymore.
Yeah.
Like no one's like, oh my God, did you hear what happened on Hot 97 last night? Did you hear what Flex dropped on Hot 97 last night?
Not really.
No.
Nah.
I mean, I don't listen to radio. Maybe because
for an artist,
I don't fucking listen to radio.
If you're making music for the radio,
right, different. If you're a new artist,
right, yeah,
different. I'm talking about obviously. But like Cardi B, if she got into beef with some artist, isn't sending joints to Funk Flex. She's putting it out on her Twitter page.
Well, yeah, that's true. But they do send it to radio stations as well, and they say push this out because then they try to get the like DJ and the radio station on their side. You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh, they played it on the radio. So like,
I literally don't listen to the radio. I have no idea. I'm speaking from an ignorant point of view of like old radio.
I've seen it happen all the time, bro. Especially like Funk Flex. He loves to drop diss tracks. He likes to, what do you call it? Like stir shit up. Pot. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he'll drop a diss track, and I hear him do it all the time. Not even that I listen to radio that much, but I always hear it. But DJs definitely do that, and artists definitely push their DJs. If you're in the rap game, I would say an artist would definitely push.
Well, that's different. I mean, I guess especially pushing it to get it on the radio is different than I'm talking about as like a major artist, like back in the day, like Jay-Z and Nas hitting at like Hot 97 with their shit to like make shit wild. Right. Because I just think that now you do that on Twitter and you're getting double the exposure than you are through Hot 97 in New York. Yeah. Like back then, New York was everything. It was like New York hip hop, LA hip hop, like Hot 97 and like. Bobito and whatever the other guy is out in LA, like they were fucking changing the game. Like that was everything. And other states would like tune in to Hot 97 like streams or shit like that. Yeah. It was a interesting time. Absolutely. And now it's all fucking social media is the only way to like that people think that they could just make shit happen like that.
That's how it is, man. It's crazy. So yeah, I would say going back to who are my top, I would say Biggie, Tupac, Nas would probably come after that, but Mobb Deep would probably have to come. Yeah,
you love Mobb Deep.
I love Mobb Deep.
You're always bumping Mobb Deep
all the time.
It's so funny.
It's so raw and hardcore.
It is super raw and super hardcore.
Like when I think of New York, like hip hop, it's like Mobb Deep comes to mind, like just grungy, like
first
bars. What's up?
First. Over Nas, over Big,
nah. I would say top 5. I mean,
but like you, so when you go, I'm saying when you hit the city, and you want to put on some like city, some Brooklyn shit.
Yeah, Brooklyn shit. I definitely bump some Mobb Deep.
Okay, I'm with it. I'm with it.
Yeah,
I gotta listen to some more Mobb Deep. I listen to so much new shit. I like forget to like reminisce and like listen to old shit sometimes.
Yeah, man, Mobb Deep is where it's at. Especially after Prodigy died, I was just like, whoa.
Oh yeah. That was a revisiting of the catalog.
And I was already a diehard Mobb Deep fan before that. So when he died, bro, it just like elevated to like a whole nother level. And I appreciate Mobb Deep's music just that much more.
Hell yeah.
It's wild, man. All these fucking rappers just start to go, and
yeah, man,
artists
it's been wild last
influenced you your whole life.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
it is crazy. It is crazy. Speaking of artists, you make music yourself.
Yeah,
but you don't make hip hop. You make like what would you describe it?
I would call it techno. Techno, tech house.
Tech house. Okay.
Yeah, you know, like groovy shit.
All right, groovy shit.
Kicks
no,
and
it's like
hi-hats.
it's deep, right?
Yeah,
it's deep.
It's deep. It's like deep, club shit.
Like
people think of techno, they think of like jumping up and down. And
no, it's not EDM.
No,
crazy. It's more like deep techno.
Right. It's
like shit that you would listen to in like a Brooklyn warehouse.
Yeah,
with everybody like rolling
party,
on Molly.
Well,
and
there are some people who do shit like that. A lot of people.
Come on,
you'd be surprised though. It's not.
What percentage of the crowd do you think is rolling on Molly or not?
I would say a good amount of them for sure.
But
it's not all drug influence. There's a lot of people who just go there to appreciate the music and just high on the music.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
But I think that agree. More people there are tripping out on one drug or another, not including alcohol, than people who are there just for the music.
Absolutely, I would say there's a lot of drugs that go
70-30.
around in that scene. I would say there's a lot of drugs that go around, especially with that type of music.
Yeah,
but that's what any type of club. I mean, people are at hip hop clubs, doing drugs, doing coke, doing Molly and shit. So
yeah, that's true.
So yeah,
I mean, but this, I feel like that music,
this is definitely
this the type of music. Like when I listen to your joints, I'm like, oh my god, I feel like I didn't do any drugs.
Yeah,
but I feel like I'm on drugs.
Oh, but that's that's how it is. I mean, from the outside ear, if that's not something you listen to,
no, but not in a bad way. No, not in a bad way.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's dope because that's definitely first of all, it's the mood you're trying to inspire through your music, right. So it's working.
Yeah.
But it's like it's a great good beats. Like they're like,
shit,
but it's like that long build up type shit that when you're on a drug, you're much more,
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I feel it coming.
Yeah.
It's coming. The drop's coming. It's gonna be here in like 45 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's like different than EDM, which is just like the same mathematical like.
Right. But you'd be surprised. There's more people on drugs at like EDM parties than there are at techno parties. Because what you get at the EDM crowd is just a bunch of girls and young kids who want to go to raves and they want to pop Molly and they want to do drugs and get high and they don't even know who these DJs are. They don't know who these people are.
True.
They don't really appreciate the music. They're just there for the experience and for the candies and heartings, you know what I mean? And the post like plur on your Facebook page or whatever.
Wear like furry hats with unicorns on them,
daisies.
Play with fire sticks and
that's
like
that's not the
mud.
Scene that I'm into.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Honestly, I've never been like a festival guy. I've always thought I would fucking lose my shit at a festival.
Yeah,
because of the amount of people around you, the lack of clean bathrooms to use.
Right.
The like it's just insane. Especially like I couldn't imagine doing some crazy hard drug in a place that's like I don't know, like the middle of some field somewhere where like God knows what paramedics are really around to help you if
until you've experienced it though. I mean, you can't knock it, man. It's definitely an experience. I've been to raves before.
I've been to raves. I've been to like warehouse raves, but not like I'm talking about like a Coachella or like EDC.
I've been to EDC. I've been to Electric Zoo. I've been to a few festivals, and they're definitely a great experience.
Really,
I'm telling you,
it's just for me the sweaty, drugged out people bumping into me like.
Yeah, man, like, it's just not it's not for everybody.
I'll go to a hip hop show and like we get amped up, and if dude's like, if I get bumped into and whatever, I'm like, all right, I'll let it roll off. It's all
you go to a hip hop show and then you end up getting into a fight outside.
Nah,
the club.
But I won't go.
Shit like that doesn't happen at festivals. Bro.
You can say the same, I guess, for like a metal show where like everyone's just like pushing each other and like punching each other in the face for fun.
Yeah, man. But no, it's pretty dope. I would say, I mean, I'm not knocking the EDM scene, culture, festival. I mean, it's cool, it's dope, if you're into that. But, I mean, that's how I got introduced to techno music, honestly. I mean, I've always listened to it, but I never actually experienced it in like a party, real big festival setting. Right. So I went to an EDC, you know what I mean? That's really where I fell in love with the music, so.
It's interesting.
Yeah, man, it's dope. So it's definitely different. I mean, I feel like a lot of people that go to techno parties really have an appreciation for the music. I mean, I do. I make this music, so I can relate to people who listen to this shit daily. Like, it relaxes them. It's not always about a party. Sometimes
it doesn't relax you.
Oh, it does. Trust me. There's some tech house.
I mean, I guess,
very, very mellow
you get
and chill.
Into the groove.
Yeah, it's very mellow and chill, and it's just like you're just
that's my type of like.
Yeah, it's not always pumped up. I mean, some of it is, and some of it's not. It's a whole. There's so many different genres within that realm.
What kind do you like to make?
What I've been focusing on making recently is more pumped up, like 128 BPM stuff. You know what I mean? So a lot of like heavy kick drums and real underground like sound. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's not so much more on the groovy side. I do make that music, and I did, but I'm just really trying to focus in on a sound right now. And again, I'm still finding my sound. Like I haven't even really found my exact sound. I mean, that comes with time. But,
of course, I feel like with electronic music too, there's so many different alleyways,
and you really have to.
And
focus.
you want to make, I mean, it's not like you need to make one or the other. You could kind of, it's nice to experiment.
Yeah,
and be
exactly.
like, oh, I like making like something with a little funk in it.
Yeah,
something with a little like jazz house in it, whatever.
There's definitely a lot of artists out there that are doing that exact thing too.
That's my
and
type
they're
of
successful.
Music. Yeah, yeah, I like.
They're successful
like
at it. There's artists out there that go by different aliases.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like different names. They might have a
Mac
techno
Miller
side.
did, bro. Mac Miller was a producer. You know, he under a different name. He had like his own thing going.
Yeah, man. That's how it is. So a lot of artists are like co-branding themselves because they don't want to just focus on one specific music. Maybe they like this music as well.
Right.
They want to dabble in that area as well.
Right.
So.
If you want to make hip hop beats, you can make a whole nother persona and whatever.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
So you see a lot of artists doing that. But yeah, man, it's definitely cool.
You got something you want to play? You got some joints to play?
Absolutely. Yeah, I'll get you some joints. Yeah.
All right,
sure.
so let's play some stuff. You got something new?
Yeah, I got some new stuff.
All right, let's play one of them right here.
All right.
So here we go. Enjoy, everybody. Here's a joint by Mind.eu. How you spell that, by the way?
mynd.eu.
mynd.eu. Mind.eu. Here we go. Enjoy.
Let's go.
right. So I hope you guys dug that. Maybe it relaxed you. Maybe it amped you up. I don't know how you react.
Probably amped them up.
It probably amped you up.
Yeah, definitely amped up that. For sure.
So, all right. So let's talk a little Italy, man. Let's reminisce a little bit. I miss it.
Oh, yeah, I miss it every day, man.
It's like so you were out there for what? You were out there for like 3 weeks total?
Just about 3.5.
Yeah.
I like to call it a month.
A month. Yeah.
But it was technically like maybe a little over 3 weeks.
All right, we'll call it the month though.
Probably the best 3 weeks of my life, man. Definitely a cool experience.
Yeah, it was insanely epic. It was just nonstop eating in insane foods, like
nonstop eating, nonstop partying,
drinking
every day,
chaos,
wine every night, steak dinners.
Oh my god, it was crazy.
It was great. It was great, man. Yeah.
It was really good times. I know you want to talk about more than anything as far as you want to talk a memory.
Yeah.
About that Venice, that debauchery.
Oh yeah, that was a good time. That was bullshit. I mean, it might not have been a good time for you, but definitely a good time for me.
That fucking sucked. It was one of the worst experiences of my life.
Yeah, man.
So we went to Venice. We do a day trip, right? We took a train out, nice train ride. We get there, and literally we're walking around for maybe 25, 30 minutes, if that, 20 minutes.
Maybe not even that long. Maybe
not that long.
Maybe like 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
I would say. It happened very early on.
It did happen quick, unfortunately. So we're walking. Well, I mean, I'm sure you can imagine what the worst possible thing that can happen to you in Venice would be, but I'll tell you, just for the shits and giggles. So we see this dope spot where there's 2 archways, and the archway goes up a bridge to the left, and then goes. That's my shit going off. Nope. 2 archways. You had like a bridge to the left, and then like it went down and into the water to the right. So I'm like, oh, I want to get this picture. So I'm posted up. Got like my foot on the step to go and take a nice, super dope picture in this alleyway. Tony's standing behind me. He says to me, "Oh man, I wonder how many." What'd you say?
I wonder how many people fall in this water on a day-to-day basis. This guy's like on the second to third step.
It was only the second step. I wasn't going heavy. You
were going pretty low on those steps, man. And I just thought about it. I'm like, shit. I wonder how many people fall in this water.
And it was like a half a second after I'm like, bro, don't say that shit right now. And literally a half a second later, my foot catches the algae in a weird way, and I slip. Both of my feet like slide down the steps. My ass like hits like right on the top step where there's water. Like not full water, but like half water. So basically I have water up to my ass, like not in my ass, but up to my ass, behind my legs, filling my shoes, everything. I like luckily grabbed my phone, I grabbed my camera, like nothing fell into the water.
I watched that shit happen in slow motion, man. It was insane.
I gotta give you credit, dude, because you had a fucking DSLR camera around your neck, a phone in hand.
I was
and you didn't take
worried.
any pictures, bro.
Because you looked like you were in pain or really cold or something.
So it was January, like 15th or some shit. Yeah, it was the middle of January. It was ice cold. Yeah. The water was damn near 32 degrees, like frozen.
Yeah.
In Venice, it's not. It's like North Italy. It's cold up there. It was cold that day.
Yeah, it was definitely cold. Yeah.
And that water was freezing, and I fell in, and I felt like I was like getting hypothermia immediately. I remember I was chattering and fucking shaking and like freaking the fuck out. And then
now we can laugh about it.
It was terrible, man. I knew basically within a half an hour. Like, remember we walked out of there. We hit this square where the sun was shining. I took my fucking shoes off, took my socks off. I was wrung them out, wrapped them around the pole so the sun was hitting them, thinking it was gonna like dry quickly or some shit. People wringing my pants out in the middle. There's like puddles forming underneath me from my pants for being wrung out.
It was a sad situation, dude.
It was disgusting. It was
for you.
It was disgusting, and it was on top of all that. It was. I mean, I'm lucky, I think, because it was wintertime. In the summertime, that water is so much more disgusting and smelly, sure and like, you know, like
I didn't even want to think about it.
Yeah, you don't want to think about it, bro. It was in my fucking toes for the entire day.
Yeah,
we sat down at lunch, sitting on the water, and I mean, I couldn't walk around. Like my feet, it was like, you ever fall into a pool? You ever get your feet soaking wet in your shoes, and you have to walk around in them for 8 hours around the city because you're actually walking around the city. It's not like you're like chilling. You had to walk, of course, because who the fuck does it happen to? Only me. And I took my shoes off at fucking lunch. And I put them up right on the chair. We had a heater on top of us. I don't know who takes
the shoes off at lunch, bro. That was pretty gross.
It had to happen. It worked. You know how well that worked? That saved me.
Yeah, I guess
because I had my shoes off and sitting on a chair. They were kind of hidden. I covered my feet with a fucking napkin on the floor so you couldn't see my bare feet.
Oh, man, that was so sad.
And then I took a bunch of I took another napkin. I took my wet ass socks. I put them in the napkin flat and laid them on the table. Definitely disgusting.
Yeah, that was pretty gross.
It was next to us though. It wasn't like in front of us, but I laid it next to us under the heater where I was flipping it over like a fucking burger, like cooking my socks.
I'm not into the whole sock by my pasta.
Yeah, it wasn't. It was on my side of the table. It was on my side of the table, first of all, so it wasn't. That
but even in my view, like I don't want to look at someone's.
I get it, but if that happened to you, I would be understanding. I would, like it was a terrible situation.
I understood.
Oh my god, I can't even describe.
But other than that, man, we had some really good times.
Of course, that's just the story that. Within 30 minutes of it happening, I was like, "Yeah, this sucked, but this is gonna be a hilarious story to tell people."
Absolutely. Yeah, we had some really good times.
What was the best thing you think you ate?
Steak, man.
Wrong
by
answer.
Far.
You're supposed to say my sandwich at Pino's.
Yeah, Pino's. Pino's was definitely up there, but the steak was for me. The steak was better.
I mean, we ate so many steaks. Which steak was the best steak?
Oh man, I don't even know. I can't. There was one steak that we ate that was like super salty, and I loved it.
The one when we walked far.
Yeah,
it was just me, you, and right.
I believe so. It was just I forget.
We just walked. Yeah, we went out there. We just got the crazy. What's so much steak? Place.
We had like 5 or 6 steaks.
We had
probably more.
I think we had like closer to like 12 or 13 steaks. I think we had steak like every 2 nights or something.
Pretty much, yeah. Steak was pretty good.
Because I'll tell you, that's the best steak you could get in the world. People need to know. It's all about.
Well, you can't know unless you actually experience
steak. Yeah, you got to get.
Unless you're there and you taste that steak, you won't be able to.
And I think you need to open. It's hard because you got to open your mind up to like a really raw piece of meat. Right. It's not a normal steak like you would get here, and they won't cook it for you.
It's bleeding.
Yeah, it's bleeding.
That shit is like right off the cow.
Yeah, but it's not
I was never into that shit either.
Right, and I wouldn't order that in the States. It's different here. The meat out there is different. They treat those animals with like love. Those cows are like worshipped, and like they're not fed a bunch of bullshit to make them fat to get more milk or like all the shit that we do to our cows here. I don't trust steak here as much as I eat it from time to time. But
I still get steak. I mean, there's a few spots that are like really good steak, especially in New York.
But it's not the Florentine steak.
No, it's not Italian. It's not prepared the same way. It's not cut from the same cow.
Yeah.
But no, it's good stuff, man. It was definitely really good.
Yeah, man. So damn good.
The salty one was one for me.
The kokoli, how good is that kokoli?
Forget what that was again.
The fried dough.
Oh yeah.
Pastrami and cheese.
That was really good. That was
not pastrami.
It was a lot of bread though.
Yeah,
a lot of carbs.
I mean, that's Italy. It's literally they run on carbs. It's 80% of your daily intake.
I've been trying to cut down on my carbs lately.
Yeah, but even out there,
especially since after Italy.
Yeah, but out there the carbs aren't like processed carbs.
Yeah,
it's like healthy carbs that you burn off. You're walking everywhere on top of all that shit. Tell me that's not the most walking you've ever done in your entire life.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Definitely a lot of walking.
Just everywhere. Just everywhere you go.
Definitely a shit ton of walking.
It's intense.
That's why I was able to keep off the weight from all the carbs.
Exactly. It's a balance. It's all about balance. That's what they figured out there is the balance of life and like happiness and food and.
Yo, and it's pretty crazy because I started reading this book after I got back from Italy called Outliers. Really good book. Highly recommend it. But he goes into this one chapter, and it's about like how people live their lives, but in a different way. And it also talks about like people who are successful aren't always successful because they just worked harder than everyone else. They were also given like these crazy opportunities. You know what I mean? Like Bill Gates lived in a town that had like the only computer in the world. You know what I mean? He was able to go to the computer and like work on the computer and figure out code and shit like that.
Right.
Other people didn't have access to
a computer.
Right. Yeah. And he had access to that. That's why he's Bill Gates. You know what I mean? That's why he made this huge company. Same thing with like who's the guy Steve Jobs. You know what I mean? It was the same thing. He grew up in an era where there was like one computer, and he went to like a school that had like this only computer on the West Coast or something like that. And that's how he was able to write code and like fucking basically blow up. So talks about like opportunities that people were given, which is how they made it to where they are today. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they go into this one chapter about people from Italy who went into the U.S. and basically started a new life just to get away from some shit that was going on in Italy. And the studies about how they lived longer lives than normal people in the U.S. Italians, yeah. There was like no heart disease, like no depression, shit like that. Like they made this own little community in Pennsylvania, and they all like had like
an Italian style life
healthier.
In America.
Yeah, basically. And it's not that they ate better than us. It's not that they exercised more. It wasn't like they had certain medicine.
So they were eating American foods.
Yeah, they ate like shit. Like the guy did a study. He went to the town and like looked at their food, looked at their lifestyles, looked at their exercise habits. You know what I mean? Studied these people basically, and fucking came to the conclusion that they just live happier lives. You know what I mean?
I mean, you saw it.
Yeah.
And you saw. I mean, it didn't matter what the people did. It didn't matter what your job was, and how well off you were. It's just about, they don't give a fuck about that. They care about being happy. They care about enjoying the finer things in life.
Exactly.
The foods, the wines, the long, beautiful walks through a beautiful old city, catching up with friends, going to aperitivos, going to nightclubs. And the crazy
part about it is, too, he also said that almost 90% of the people in that town smoke cigarettes.
See?
And they were still healthier than people.
Well, that's as surprising as it is. It's like,
how crazy is that?
It's kind of crazy. Isn't it crazy how many people smoke cigarettes out there?
Yeah, it's definitely just part of the culture out there.
It's insane.
It's just, you smoke a cigarette after you eat. You smoke
it's like 80% of the people in the street when you're.
But it's not like the cigarettes that are like
putting out, buying.
But they're self-rolled cigarettes for the most part. You know what I mean? You don't see a lot of people smoke like Marlboros out there.
No, American cigarettes are definitely worse for you.
Yeah.
Definitely worse for you. Definitely a lot more additives and things to make you more addicted.
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, the Italian like health code system is like very different than ours. You go to McDonald's out there, you're eating a much better quality McDonald's than you're eating here.
That McWrap I had at the train station was probably the best fucking McWrap I've ever eaten in my life, bro.
It's crazy, man. They got the waffle fries, McDonald's waffle fries.
I didn't get the fries. I got the regular fries, and then I got the McWrap.
And all the McDonald's out there are like McCafe, like really fancy, bougie-ass, leather seats. Like, it does not feel like you're in a McDonald's. It feels like you're in like a... I don't even know. Like, it's like Starbucksy.
It was definitely modernized and a lot nicer. Yeah, they treat McDonald's different out there.
It's cool.
Everything's different out there in Italy.
But then, like, okay, so what's the one thing, I guess, like, when you were out there? Because you were out there for a month, you probably start missing things about the States. Is there anything that you miss that you're like, oh, man, when you're out there, like, oh, I wish I still had this.
Italy?
Or I wish I could do this or whatever about America. Like, while you were in Italy, did you miss America at all?
Yeah.
In what way?
My studio. I miss making music, you know what I mean? I was away from
your craft.
My element, you know what I mean? So I didn't have all my shit and didn't have my fucking computer, and if I wanted to go lock in on some music, I didn't have my Xbox if I wanted to just chill. I mean, I didn't need that shit, Obviously, I just went out and chilled and talked to people and partied. But
exactly.
But no, I definitely miss like my music stuff. I would say that's the biggest thing I miss. And my family, of course. You know what I mean? Always miss family. Yeah.
It's kind of wild. Like, isn't it weird? Because you live at home, whatever. But like, when I was with my mom, it was like, even leaving. I live very close to my mom. I see her all the time. But being out there within a week, I was like, oh shit, I miss my mom. It's like distance. The distance alone makes you. It's weird. Yeah, it's weird because I see my mom like relatively often, but not like to the point where I'm like, oh shit, like I really like, I can't believe I'm it's weird. I couldn't believe that I like missed home and missed my family.
It's like you can just go see them, right. Oh, I'll go see my mom today.
I think that's
it
what
doesn't
it was.
Work like that.
It was just like
it's like, no, you gotta plan that shit. You gotta go fly another 10 hours to go like
in the back of my mind. But even that's beautiful. Like, you could just FaceTime now in the modern age. It's super easy to just keep in touch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stay connected like that.
Yeah. But of course, it's not the same as being there, with your family. But,
no, it's...
always miss family and friends back home and shit. So I would say I definitely miss that.
But like the convenience, for me, like the convenience is like the one thing that immediately, like I hit you up. I remember when I got out there, I was for a week out there for like less than a week, and I'm like, bro, I need chapstick. I need you. I'm sending something to your house for my headphones.
Right.
My headphone piece fell out.
Right.
Like you just can't hear. Like
I'll tell you one thing I did miss.
Yeah,
my car.
Yeah,
being able to drive and like go somewhere.
You didn't need that.
Yeah, but I mean the walking
You
dead
could
kind
rent a
of
car.
annoying.
You don't want to drive. You want to drive around Florence?
I would if I lived there. I would definitely.
wouldn't.
I would probably have a car.
You wouldn't.
Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. Unless you lived outside the city, you wouldn't.
To have to
Because
walk
it's whack.
everywhere.
You can't park. You see parking? What parking's like in that place? There's no
I would get a
garages.
scooter. I would get a scooter.
A scooter.
Yeah.
That's a different story. I kind of want a scooter here. It would be dope.
Nah,
No?
I can't be that dude running around a scooter.
You could be. You could be if you pull it off.
If I'm getting anything with two
you.
wheels, it's gonna be like a Harley or a fucking
So much
like a
more
CBR,
dangerous.
something like a pop a wheelie on.
Something you can murder. Something you can kill yourself easily on. Instead
Hey, listen, I'll
of a
fucking
nice
kill myself
safe.
having a good time.
See, I want to get like
You
a
can still clear.
150.
What if you get? Would you rather get hit by a car on a scooter or on a motorcycle? Because either way, you're gonna fucking die. But at least,
I don't think that there's a right
At least if
answer
you're
there.
on a motorcycle, you were like cool while you die. Like, oh look at this guy, he just got hit by a fucking car, this scooter.
Yeah, but it depends on like what you have on you at the
That's
time. What if
fucked
I
up,
had
man.
like a baguette and a bottle of wine on me, and I'm like, oh my god, this guy's like just a fancy Italian man, and he was just mowed down
I guess
in
so,
his scooter,
man.
trying to live a nice Italian lifestyle.
It's hard to get around in a scooter in Jersey, especially with all these people the way they drive. I mean,
No,
maybe
you're
if
right.
you lived in like, I don't know, Florida, you know,
guess,
somewhere
there's
it's
more-
very slow paced.
Nah, but I guess you're right. Yeah, I don't want to be moving down Route 9 or Route 18
on a
fucking
scooter. You don't want
Get
to
on the
do that.
parkway on a scooter.
Nah,
It sounds super dangerous to me.
Yeah,
That's a good point.
dangerous.
It's not like a little local
I mean, those
town.
things, what they hit like maybe 80 miles per hour tops.
Yeah, if you want to die. if that's the last
And
80
on a
miles
bike,
per
could
hour you
just
want to
be
go.
out.
That's true, but they're so scary to me.
Yeah, it's scary.
Oh man. Well, I hate to wrap it up. I know it's a short little episode, but we can do a part 2 sometime. I want to bring the boys. I want to get like
We got to get everybody
Danny
together.
and Morgan and John and my brother and like
Get the crew back together.
We had those few days of like awesome memories to make
sure.
also, and we got a lot
Definitely.
more to talk about. So
Definitely, man.
we'll do that. But one more time, give them like where they can find you on like Instagram.
Oh yeah,
and
you guys
things
can
like
find me on Instagram at mynd.eu, mynd.eu. Find me on SoundCloud at mind.eu, Facebook, everything at mind.eu.
Mind you.
Yeah, check me out.
All right, guys, check them out. It was a pleasure catching up with you as always, bro.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Be
for having
good.
me.
Yeah, man.
All right.
Peace.
Hold up. Wait.
Wait.
Whoa. Wait.
Where were we?